So we talked about underhook is king. Why? Just go for this position. So I don't pass the toe line. I palm and catch. Okay. Control the hip. I cut an angle. Okay. Try to get that knee on the mat. Take away the Danaher, and then I fill that space. Why is the underhook so good? Because from here, when I win the underhook, I can physically put my hip on Orange hip. Okay, I'm connected to him. The battle will be not letting Aaron underhook me, where he can come up, or not letting Aaron bring in the knee sheet. Because then we're in the Z guard, knee sheet half guard. Again, now he's got connection back, and now that's the battle that we don't want. So when I get into the underhook position, it's going to be very hard for Aaron to underhook me, or bring in the knee sheet. It's just not going to happen. Because my hip's on his hip, and I am more connected to them. So, but if we can't get the underhook, we are going to make this lapel grip. Obviously, it's not as good as the underhook. And there's more risk of him winning the underhook on me and bringing in the knee sheet, but we'll show you a few little things you can think about to kind of make it a wee bit more difficult. So just continuing on from what we did on Tuesday, I don't go past the toe line until I can pin his knee to the mat. I use that palm and catch. Okay. Hip and lever, so I cut that angle and I pin that knee to the mat, and now I'm filling that space. Okay. Now again, for me to win the underhook, there has to be space for me to come under. Aaron's just going to keep his elbow tight to his body. So now there is no underhook. Okay. But I can easily make this grip. Now if he leaves his hand in here, I'll pin it. We'll talk about that in a minute. But good players do not want their hand caught in here, because now it's trapped and we can go for a submission after the pass. So let's just say make the grip, Aaron's his elbow tucked. He can't defend both, right? Let's just say he went for the collar. Aaron can defend with his hand. Well, let me grab the collar. Now I have the underhook. Does that make sense? But if he's tucking that, I can easily get that. That makes sense. And especially if his hand's in, I'm going to use that, but we'll keep it out for now, keeping it simple. Now from here, we talked about we could control the elbow if I had the underhook. We also talked about if I put my head on the mat with the underhook, I could post the hand. If I have the collar grip, the grip I want is the sleeve grip. Okay. Now from here, for Aaron to win the underhook, he needs to come up on his right side to win the underhook, or bring in the knee sheet. He has to turn onto his side. Notice the way he's on his side, right? Does that make sense? So all we're going to use is this push-pull concept. I'm using this grip to push Aaron's left shoulder to the mat with my right hand, but I'm also pulling on the wrist. So now if he tries to turn onto the side from here, it's very, very difficult. So if he does nothing, he just sits through. Notice the way when I sit through, my elbow is going to come over his hip. So notice the way we talked about step 5 was controlling the hips or killing the hips. I went through the pass now. My right hip is connected to Aaron's right hip, and my right elbow is connected to his left hip. If he tries to move from here, difficult. And also now I lift my hips and walk his knees away. Then I win the cross face. And now I'm in here. Take a look at that again. So I don't go past the toe line. I slap and catch. Okay. Hip and lever from his knee to the mat. Now I can step in and fill that space. But now from here, Aaron's keeping this super tucked, so I can't win the underhook. So the next best grip is this collar grip. Okay, for this particular one, he's not going to leave his hand in. We'll show you in a minute what I can do from that position. So I'm here. Once I make that initial grip, now this hand's here. Okay, and now the goal is push this to the mat as I pull up. Now if he puts me in quarter guard, that's fine. Okay, I can still now sit through. And notice now, my goal is to put my hip on his hip and my elbow clamps. I'll still pull up from here, and now I can use my foot to clear that. Walk his hips back, control the head. and then the side control. The perfect time, or the perfect when would I go for one or the other? Sometimes you'll get really good players that when I move into this position, Aaron's going to be trying to keep his elbow connected to the inside of my knee. So it's positions there. Because elbow knee is still one of the best escapes to beat the knee slice. So if Aaron goes for the knee slice and he runs out to the mat, he wants this arm out here. I'm bringing my knee inside. My goal would be to connect my knee to my elbow, and now I can use that to kick him in the butt and start coming up into positions. So when I feel that Aaron's really using that elbow, I'll probably go for this type of pass. So I don't go past the toe line. I palm and catch, I cut the angle, I pin this. Notice the way now he's really in here. This is quite dangerous. Okay. Once he's made that connection, if I don't stop the turn, he can win that underhook knee me in the ass, and now he's coming up to his knees. It just turns into a scramble. So we're here. I've made that grip. This is where this one really comes in. He's that tucked. I'm pushing down, and I just pull up. That makes sense. So I'm pushing this very hard. Aaron's going to try and win the underhook very hard. And see the way even he's coming inside, I've turned my elbow in, and I'm still keeping him flat. I'm still making him carry my weight. And now from here, I clamp and I walk his hips away. Win that cross face. And with the side control, let's just look if he does leave that hand in. Or sit up again. So the variation we did from seated guard, I already have that grip. So I went for the ankles. Then I found that he brought two hands in to make that grip. I found this, I run him down. I'm straight into that pass immediately with that grip, you know, and then I can find out. Let's just say he brings that hand inside. Okay, so I'm still gonna clamp that. I still pull this up, and I still try to put his shoulder to the mat. So we're gonna end up in this position here. Okay, notice the way if Aaron tries to free his arm from here, it's difficult, and now it's a battle to see who can get their hand to the collar first. So all I'm going to do is just slide this in. Other one comes in, and now I'll be bringing my knee over, and I can start to work the baseball. Yeah. It's always difficult to get that, but you have to remember he's put his arm there, so I'm going to let it stay trapped, if that makes sense. So if we do that first variation, we can go straight into this without even needing the underhook. I fake that, I make that, cut the angle, I drop straight into the position. So he's here. I'm pulling this up, but now his arm's inside. I just keep it pinned and I pull. Focus on putting my weight on him, not letting him turn onto the side. Once I free that, I just keep it. Okay. And now from this position, my hand will be coming this way. And that's a thumb inside grip. Okay. And now, Aaron's hand's trapped. I'm going to keep it on that side, so I just release and bring 4 fingers inside and cut the angle. Okay. And now from here, I can start to move around. Okay. If he's playing a seated guard, level change, we make that grip, concentrate in, drop down, his hand's caught, like this. So again, you have to, when you're playing this grip, it's all about flattening him out. Anytime he's on the side, he's dangerous. You're susceptible to the underhook or that knee shield coming in. So I need to make sure I keep that out. See the way that elbow's tucked, try to bring that knee shield in. And now I'm focusing on flattening him out. Anytime I'm there and that hand's caught, my hand's coming underneath. That's a thumb inside grip. And I'm thinking about the connection of my left forearm, okay, to his right jugular. Now from there I can just put my weight on that hand. I switch, and that's four fingers inside. Now already Aaron's going to try and bring his hand in, and I'm already cutting the corner. Notice the way now his hand is in. Okay, so I can bring this over. As I move into north-south, I can use my elbow. Move that out, sorry. And I'm here. Now he's still got his hand in, But watch, see when I start to cut the angle? Or even with his hand, just got the connection of your forearms to the jugular. It doesn't really matter. As you get better at this, you can start to use your elbows to create a little bit of space. And then I step over. Okay, let's play with that.